Oh, what the fuck? They missed a ban, or they didn't ban one. Lucian, Irelia, Galio, very, very standard bans. As we talked about, Lucian incredibly strong, Irelia incredibly strong, Galio incredibly strong. None of us are surprised by these bans, nor are we by Cassio and Aatrox. Just these are very strong champs in the meta that are taken in the early rotations, and teams are banning it out. Let's see what Prophet leads with. Urgot, another incredibly strong champion in the meta. I'm not really... No hard feelings one way or the other. Oh, third ban is Karthus. I guess it's just blanked out here. Karthus ban, mouse issues, okay. Rakan, another early Rakan pick. Maybe I should be readjusting my priorities on Rakan. I do agree he's a strong champion in the meta, and he gives you an engage tool that's like no other. It's just a little bit weird seeing him so early picked when there's other champions that people usually pick before. So let's talk about this. When you pick Rakan Lissandra, you already have a comp that's going to team fight. Rakan Lissandra are team fight champions that engage team fights really well, and that's what you pick them for. So already this comp is going to be about team fight. And Kench is an interesting pick against these two, because these two signal, hey, we want to engage team fights, and we want to be all up in your face and force fights onto you, and Kench is the counter to that. Kench is able to disengage team fights, able to save people from shitty spots, so that's why he gets picked. Akali, another incredibly common champion to be picked early in the meta, or early in the draft. So Akali and Urgot, both solo lanes that are very flexible. They can either go mid or top lane. They can swap it in a lot of different ways. This comp can go into a teamfight comp, but once you have Kench and Akali together, you are kind of looking at like a split push comp. One thing Kench offers you other than disengage is a lot of global pressure in the mid game, because you're able to ult to side lanes, right? And be very free about running 1-3-1, because you're not very scared about getting engaged in the mid lane, because you have a Kench to protect yourself. And you also can pressure side lanes with Kench ult. So ROG kind of looking at like a split push comp, and Misfits already kind of looking like a team fight comp. Let's see how both these comps finish up. So what would I... Okay. Another strong engage and a good front line, so Misfits is definitely a teamfight comp now. I would be very surprised to see them run a split push comp where they already locked in Rakan, Lissandra, and Sion. Israel ban, they're banning out Israel because they are going to be very engage heavy, and Israel's a champion that kind of denies engage and allows them to play from a distance. And one thing I also did realize is Wadid loves Tahm Kench, so this Tahm Kench pick early from ROG doesn't surprise me that much at all. And then Caitlyn ban. Caitlyn's actually kind of a curious one for me. I don't think Caitlyn's that great of a champion and competitive at the moment, especially when you have Rakan, Lissandra, Sion. Like, Caitlyn's going to be extremely vulnerable, so that was a really weird ban. Maybe HQ plays a lot of Caitlyn? Ooh, let me try to guess the AD here. Xayah, Kalista ban, Israel, Caitlyn, Lucian gone. Not much left. Maybe Varus. Maybe Vayne even, if they're going teamfight enough. But Vayne, Rakan would be an incredibly weak lane. I don't know. Maybe Varus, maybe Vayne. Let's see. Ooh, Draven. Oh, Hansama special. I forgot about that one completely. Okay. So they're actually going to have a very dominant bot lane. Draven, Rakan, incredibly strong laning duo. And then HQ instead of replying with Varus. So Varus, Kench, a lot of lane priority. Versus Draven, Rakan, it can be dangerous, but they are going to have lane priority, and they are going to be able to push up. Okay, this looks like the comp finished up. And we can talk about it once the comps are finished up. Alright, the comps are finished up. Also, Sion and Lissandra both still flexible solos. One can go, they can go anywhere. One thing I will say though is Misfits definitely want to lane Sion versus Akali. Sion is an incredibly strong champion versus Akali in lane. So Akali kind of has to get close to you and Q, right? Sion has a very good follow-up in being able to E a creep towards Akali when she wants to Q, and then following up with the Q smash. In top lane, it's such a brutal counter for Akali. So if Akali ends up going top lane, Sion versus Akali is going to be fucking disgusting for it. But it looks like Sion going top and Lissandra going mid. Lissandra Akali is still an okay matchup for Lissandra, because due to Aftershock, Lissandra is never really in a dangerous position versus Akali. But both comps aren't that specialized. Misfits comps is very specialized in team fighting, and they're gonna want to team fight a lot. As for Rogue comp, they can run a 1-3 comp, 1-3-1 comp, but it is still somewhat of a team fight comp. So yeah, let's see how this game plays. Misfits took so much aggressive picks. So much aggressive, strong early, lot of engage. Game pause, damn. One thing that doesn't change about European League of Legends, always with the pauses. The stadium actually looks so nice though. Okay, now very standard, 5 people fanning out. Looks like not much going on. Have I reviewed the Griffin series already? No, we're starting with LEC. We'll do LCK after this. You can't afford skins. One reason why they might not be using skins is sometimes Riot asks you to not use skins because they want to keep the champion simple and plain looking as possible so people can follow up. They've been okay with people. Okay, so you guys might be like, why is Soaz being so dumb? Like, why did he attack the red buff and take damage for no reason? So the whole point of Soaz attacking the red buff and using his mana is to fake a leash. So it looks like he leashed from top side, right? And the enemy, oh, what the fuck? Where did my game go? And it looks like that Soaz also leashed from top side. So it's called faking a leash. Yeah, the Urgot punishment was kind of harsh, but Soaz was able to get a full Q and the grasp hit on them. Oh, they weren't using skins because they were forced to change the server. Okay, maybe that's the explanation. I do know just some tournaments want people to not use skins. So Kiki is going in for early gank here. Super interesting. One thing that he did was start red sweeper, so they don't even know. And while it looked like he just dodged the ward from Kikis' point of view, he was barely in vision of this ward. So we'll actually go over this. So he uses red trinket here because he doesn't want to waste time and sit on a ward. And he didn't see any ward, so he feels like, I'm not on a ward, guys. But actually he is on a ward because this ward is able to see Kikis. And remember, because Misfits faked the leash from topside, Rogue thinks, oh, he might have actually started topside. And most Leesons do start red buff, so it's very, very common. And I wouldn't put it past Rogue to think, oh, they started topside, this bot lane gank is going to be free if they don't have any wards. So Kikis thinks Leeson started top and he's not going to be here, but actually he started bottom and they faked the leash and they also saw him on the ward. Just so unfortunate for them. And they're able to get the nice engage there, and Rakan's able to back off, get a kill, and just destroy that lane. Oh man, that's so bad for Xin Zhao. Xin Zhao is a lot about early pressure and being able to put a lot of pressure onto the solo lanes and the enemy jungle, because he's incredibly strong early, and when you have Hail of Blade now, like your attacks are just so fast, it goes boop boop boop. Like you can land your talent strike so incredibly fast. So you have so much pressure early, but yeah, that slight misstep on the trinket where he didn't see the ward and the good fake leash from topside allowed Misfits to put Kikis into a position where he thought he was comfortable, but he actually wasn't. Just, there's a lot of small brain and a lot of small little things that Misfits did to make Kikis look dumb. It's not that Kikis played incredibly dumb and he just feel, maybe to a uneducated viewer, they're like, Kikis just fucking walked bot lane and tried a level 2 gank on top of a ward. He's so fucking stupid and he got counter gank. Why would he do that? It's actually not that. There's just a lot of little things that happen that makes Kikis look stupid. And yeah, now Draven with red buff and fucking Vamp Scepter, it's gonna be really hard for them to actually do stuff. Oh shit, Prism, thank you so much for the sub. So Rogue is gonna lose a lot of their early pressure from Xin Zhao. It doesn't mean the game is over. It just means they don't have early pressure. And one thing they're gonna have to be careful of is Lee Sin, Lissandra around level 6. It's just gonna be a very strong timing for them. They see this dragon, but Xin Zhao on the top side of the map, and Xin Zhao's on the top side of the map. What are they gonna do? They can't really do anything about this. Them taking dragon. So one thing that I do want to talk about is actually Sai and Urgot top side, because it's something we see a lot, right? Actually, let's talk about this first. So because Misfits have a lot of pressure on bot side, and they know Kikis was top side, one thing they want to do is play bot side, and this is called splitting the map. So this is a concept that happens a lot during professional play, so I'll try to explain it because it's something super important for people to learn. So splitting the map means one jungler plays on one triangle, like think of it as a sandwich triangle of the map, and the other jungler plays on the other triangle, other sandwich part of the map. So what this accomplishes is you get to call, we're gonna be a bottom lane team. If we split the lane towards bottom, then we have bot lane, and the enemy team can't do anything about us being bot lane and having control bot lane. And this way, they get a lot of the bottom pressure, they're able to take the red, they're able to maybe even threaten to dive, so it's incredibly good for Misfits. On the other hand, for Rogue, it's really bad that the map is split this way, because Xin Zhao can't do anything top lane. It's a Sion and an Urgot, and Soaz is also going to know, hey, the map is split bot lane, and we're going to be very, very heavy on the pressure towards bot side, and I'm not going to have any help, so I'm going to play safe as possible. So this is a state of the game where Soaz is going to push back and make sure he can't get killed by the Xin Zhao, and Misfits is going to be able to take a lot away from Rogue and put pressure onto the Varus and onto the Tahm Kench. Yeah, now it's just a really hard place for Rogue to be on, because they wanted to get a lot done with the Xin Zhao pick, especially bot lane, like Xin Zhao Varus, something very strong, something that can put on a lot of pressure, but they're not able to, and they're not able to go through with their game plan. Ooh, something we talked about, like Lissandra Lee Sin being incredibly dangerous. It's just, yeah, Misfits are able to do what they set out to do with their champions, and Rogue isn't. Like, Rogue wants to get to a clean split push where they can run 1-3-1 later or be pressuring with the Xin Zhao. But the only time Xin Zhao was able to fight was that bot lane level 2, and he got destroyed in that fight. It's level 7 and Xin Zhao still haven't ganked. Like, Xin Zhao still hasn't gotten into a real skirmish yet. And that's not something you want to be doing as a Xin Zhao. Like, you want the game to be about a lot of fighting. You want there to be a lot of skirmishes, and it just did not happen for Kikis. If the game continues this way, what's going to happen is Misfits, because they're much stronger on bot side, is going to be able to take their second Inferno. Lissandra is going to be able to push out and, yeah, just cleanly take the second Inferno. And I'm trying to think what Rogue can do to kind of counteract that. How can they stop Misfits from getting it? Good Kentrom able to win this out. So Rakan left lane, and Draven actually walked up and got Varus ulted, so he lost a lot of pressure there. Alright, they go on the Akali. Xin Zhao able to get in there. And ult from Xin Zhao and Lee Sin coming out at the same time, so they're disengaging. But Akali was able to use her ult to close the distance, it looks like. So very, very crucial kill on the Lee Sin. And now maybe Rogue can defend for this Inferno or even take it themselves. Yeah, that was a really fast Kench ult, but Wadid is like a Kench master. All he did was play Kench for a while. Aggressive play onto bot side, being able to kill the Kench, because Kench used a lot of thumbs and a lot of... I want to say he used flash earlier. Yeah, he used flash earlier when he went for the gank there, so he had no flash, so he got pressured on and he died. Kiki's coming around the back, trying to loop around, but Febiven being able to teleport, and it looks like they're going to get the turret. And after turret, they're probably going to transition very cleanly into Inferno. So only 12 minutes into the game, but it looks like Misfits has 2 Inferno and a bottom turret. And not just getting the bottom turret, it's also the first turret, so Misfits in an incredibly nice position to be in. Yeah, here Kench went in for the flash Q, able to land it, and they were able to kill the Lee. And oh, looks like Gorilla waited to get the RW there. Well played for Misfits. One thing I want to show you guys that's very important. You can see Soaz being down CS. He's 15 CS down on the Urgot because the map was split towards bottom and top. And Draven is about 90 to 112, so about 22 CS up on the Varus, right? So there's like 20 or 15 CS differential depending on where the lane was cut and it was swapped out. Do you really care that much if your Urgot is ahead on the Scion? Honestly, you don't care that much and it's not that big of a deal. But the Draven being ahead on the Varus and Draven being able to cash in his adoration stacks and get his items early is very, very important. So this is why that map split works out so well for Misfits. And then I don't get the sandwich cut. You don't get the sandwich cut? You know when you get a sandwich, you split it down the middle so you have 2 triangles. That's what I mean by the sandwich cut. And then so now after they take the dragon, they're able to swap topside and they're able to get Herald also. This is just very, very standard macro play. It's what all the teams aspire to do, and when it gets done, it's just very clean macro. What? What? Why did they give them that fight right there? That was dumb. So max floor, maybe he used W earlier and he doesn't have his W up. That's what I'm guessing. He must have used his W earlier for the attack speed. Generally, you try not to do that so you can escape. Man, this was so close. He almost died there trying to keep his flash. He should have just flashed over the wall and taken this disengage. That was so greedy. He didn't have a ward. Maybe someone else could have placed a ward for him, or he just flashes over. So some people are asking, when Misfits was pressuring bot side, should Kikis have been trying to make a play for top or Herald? So the problem with making a play for top is Soaz should know he should be playing safe as possible, and he's also a Scion, so he's incredibly hard to kill. It's just really bad for Kikis when the map is split that way, and they want to make sure they do everything in their power to make sure the map doesn't get split that way. So you can see Lee Sin using his Herald extremely early. They probably could have even gotten topside without using Herald, but one thing that's problematic about Lee Sin having Herald is you can't use your word trinket when you have the Herald, or the eye, or whatever you want to call it. So you just want to use it early to be able to push down turrets and not have to deal with holding onto a Herald. So oftentimes whenever you see Lee Sin with a Herald, he'll use it very quickly, or sometimes he'll fuck up using it. Good engage on Featherbone, but he was able to ult and save himself. Oh, that's why he couldn't ward hop, because he had Herald? Oh, you're right, that's why he couldn't. Oh man, third Inferno. Oh my god, Soaz's waiting in a beautiful, beautiful spot. So one thing I do want to talk about is setting up for objectives and what that means. When you set up for objective first, you force the enemy team to come into you, and you can get much easier engages that way. Because they set up for the engage first, so Misfits is coming in, and when you're walking into something, it's much easier to get hit by stuff. So they get a decent Scion Q. Soaz still has ultimate. He's gonna look for this ultimate angle. This ultimate angle combined with Gorilla RW, something bad's gonna happen here to Rogue. They're kind of grouped up because they have to walk in. The only thing that's going well for them is the fact that Lissandra doesn't have ult. But this engage angle from Scion, where he's gonna ult and Gorilla's gonna RW, is gonna be incredibly bad. Let's see what happens. We can play it a little bit slower. They get it. Sion gets the ultimate, RW, everyone goes on Urgot, all the engagements went on Urgot, and Kiki's died off to the side, and just the fight is over. That's just such a bad spike for Rogue to be in. And they also can't just let it go because it's a third Inferno. So they're in a... We let it go, we're kind of fucked, we're giving them 3 Infernos. We walk in, we're kind of fucked, we're walking into a Recon or a Sion situation. It's just a really bad situation for Rogue to be in. Alright, we can go back to double speed. Man, things have not been going well for Rogue this game. Ooh, Rakan got Charm and ult on one person, and Sion able to get in on the Urgot. Yeah, 3 Infernos in a row. The Inferno gods were not kind on Rogue that day. Oh, poor Senkux. I mean, he can run away, but now he has to reset, and so has Prio. So this is actually a super important part of the game. I'm gonna critique Misfits here a little if they do fuck up on this. So this point in the game, it's super important you don't get caught out. There aren't a lot of objectives to play for because you got all the Drakes already and you've taken all the outer turrets. It's very, very important you play for a Baron. You have to slow the game down kind of if you need to. It's just, if you try to overly aggress and play for turrets, this is where people die. Yeah, you can see like Misfits kind of fucking up. Like Febiman dies here. Maybe they win this team fight, but it's still not the greatest spot for them to be in. They trade 2 for 1. Not the worst thing, but not the best thing either. I would have liked to seen Misfits take it a little bit slow and play for Baron instead of being so aggressive on this spot. Well, just they're playing way too up, and playing for the inner turrets are much, much harder than the outer turrets they took so easily. So you kind of have to slow the game down here and play for Baron. Yep, just do Baron. It is a little bit more nuanced than that, where you kind of have to properly set up Baron and force the enemy team to walk into you and you're picking them off. Like they're gonna take Dragon, Lissandra getting out. Oh, they're doing their best so hard to chase the Lissandra here, but yeah, what's it gonna accomplish? They took Dragon, now they can go back to Baron. Set up for Baron, wait for them to come in, or you can just start early. And yeah, Rogue is also left in a, we do it, we're fucking doomed. We don't do it, we're fucking doomed. If you don't check into Baron, then they're going to get Baron for free. If you do check into Baron, we're checking into Rakan, we're checking into a Lissandra, we're checking into a Sion. So this is the kind of position you constantly want to put teams in. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Misfits just going for a standard 1-4 looks like, not opting to do a 1-3-1. Sion coming in. Nice engage. Oh, Gorilla got a RW on a single target and then was able to R 2 more targets after. And game over. Damn, very cleanly played from Misfits. Wow. Then both games, the winning team, once they got going, they just got going so quickly and there wasn't a lot of things that the losing team can do. I think a lot of this game just started with what happened early game where Misfits faked the leash and Rogue actually fell for it and they thought that the Lee Sin started topside. So they're doing fist bump instead of shaking hands because when you shake hands you can actually catch germs from the other people. So and that's where the players end up getting sick a lot, so that's why they're doing fist bumps.